There's a bunch of partnerships. One of them is getting announced today, so I can say it. We're working with Dave PENSADO.
The machine learning spatial audio way more powerful on the GPU, like tens of times.
We're building the world's first, GPU, fully GPU powered, synthesizer called Major.
Hello, hello, my very dear viewers around the world. Welcome back to my studio. Warsaw, Poland, yes, my name is Paul, yes, this is my humble YouTube channel. And a new camera angle to start a video. Yes, I'm looking for new things and new formulas for my channel all the time, as you also know. And you know what, guys? I have never tried an interview on my channel, right? Let's try it today, because today I'm gonna host for you the team behind GPU Audio. It's a new audio technological startup, I would say. These guys know how to make your graphic card compute audio plugins. And first they do a simple convolution reverb, then recently they released their modulation bundle, and well, we need to know what's coming next. So please, welcome, GPU Audio team. Hello guys, it's good to see you today. Could you introduce yourself shortly? What do you do in GPU Audio? Who are you actually?
So my name is Jonathan Rowden. It's nice to meet you all and your wonderful audience here. Paul, yeah, thanks for having us on the show. So I'm one of the co-founders of GPU Audio. I'm also the CBO, CBDO, handling all of the business relations, setting up everything you see when it comes to how GPU Audio is interacting, with the public, and how we're building new products and solutions and stuff with other people. So, yeah, I manage all of the partnership side and building out the way that we're going to do business in the world of audio and technology. So it's nice to have you here with me. Thank you.
Nice to have you, Jonathan. Sasha.
Yeah, hey guys, I'm Sasha T. I'm CEO of the company and doing my best running company. I also help Jonathan to arrange some partnerships, some partner deals. I also help marketing team to basically create this hype train around the GPU Audio, because we really want to, for everyone to get to know that this technology is not just the pipe dream anymore. Despite it is still early, it already works, okay? And we want to do more than that. We want to create some next generation standard. And here we are, willing to speak with all of you guys, with your Paul's audience, and to let you know more about what we'll be doing the next year.
This is great to hear, guys. And I have to tell you totally frankly, because it was like this. I've known you for way more than a year, because as a filmmaker, I have sessions that are 250 tracks large, and I run Universal Audio octa-core cards. I've got 3 of them, and I believe that no matter how strong is your CPU, there's never enough computing power that you can grab. So knowing that there's a possibility, a real one, to run any audio through my graphics card was like huge wow for me. And I kept my eye on you for a long, long time, let's say. And you, Sasha, somehow answered the question, how it all started. Could you elaborate more? How did this business, or maybe even the idea of, hey, let's compute audio through graphics cards, how did it come to you?
Yeah, so I never been the first guy. I was actually the second guy. And the first guy was my co-founder, Basil Smatokin. He is more than 20 years sound engineer, arranger. He worked with a lot of bands, music bands. He specializes in cleaning the audio part, the vocals. And that was a funny story, but super short. He came once to me and asked like why we can't run audio processing algorithms on GPU, and I was wondering too, like why.
A friend of yours, a producer, so he said, hey, we cannot run audio through GPU, and you said, why? So it's like was a dialogue between 2 of you who set up the business, right?
Yeah, correct. And there was another attempt of building something GPU in the audio world, and we failed. And there were there were the other investors who invested in the company, but we closed the company. We tried to bring not the engine that will become a platform through the SDK and NPIs and what we are doing today. It was the door that, you know, we made some sort of mixing engine. We made some sort of multi-tracker. It was written in the .NET environment. It was the huge mistake. We failed technically once. There was another team. It was like 2012, 2013 year. We failed then, and we started over in 2015 or something.
So, okay, I'm going to ask Jonathan, because I know something about this, your story. How much time in general, like really from the very start to the very point of releasing your modulation bundle, how many years did you work on that to get to that point?
Well, I came into the company over 2 years ago and became a co-founder at that point. So they had been working on this a long time before. What I can say in terms of like what we've released publicly is, you know, it's basically been a 2-year journey from when I came into the company. When I came in, it was 2 years ago, like right before COVID. I was up at my parents' house in Idaho. I was on LinkedIn and I was just thinking about GPU-based audio. So I was searching on LinkedIn about this. And then I happened to look it up and I found Sasha and Basil, these geniuses who had figured it out. And so when I came into the company to join was immediately right after that. So to answer your question more specifically, you know, we embarked on this journey of basically coming out of stealth mode. You know, at the time they were trying to do a fundraise, you know, for a seed round, sort of beginning the process, trying to understand, you know, how can we take GPU audio and make it from an R&D silent project into something that the public can try and see and test. So, you know, the last 2 years have probably been the fastest accelerating of the company has seen yet.
How many, I mean, how many people are there in your team? Where are they?
It's quite a lot. It's like more than 13 countries involved to my, if I remember correctly, it's like 13 countries or more than that. It's about 36 people already. It's quite a lot of people for a startup that is still early as we are, but it's not too many of them to do what we are doing. We're changing the ground. Like, we are the only who is doing that, who is technically capable of doing that.
Let's get back to the GPU versus CPU again, because this is kind of versus. It's kind of a battle here, I would say. And why and in what kind of a way GPU can be maybe better or faster, more efficient than CPU? What's the difference for audio computing?
If you're a producer, a user that has bottlenecking situations when you don't have CPU actually powering all of your plugin instances at low latency, you're better to come for the DSP accelerator like Universal Audio or Avid Pro Tools and guarantee you this level of latency for this given amount of plugin instances you can run, right? So the same purpose GPU can be utilized for, right? But it actually offers you a lot more than just that. So we don't have this release like today, like we're today, but spatial audio editing tools that typically work with as many as 128 channels in this spherical audio, independent or dependent multi-channel processing. This is clearly GPU's best device and best affordable device to be involved in this computing thing, right?
Okay, so what are your plans? Because you must have plans for some cooperations that Sasha mentioned. You have something signed. I'm not going to ask what, because you've got all your own NDAs. I'm not a part of it. But maybe you can like shed some light on what's coming next.
Really, at the end of the day, the company's priority is to be an enabler in the industry for, you know, everyone from independent developers to the biggest brands in the world. So, you know, GPU audio was not just designed only to, you know, create a suite of products on our own name, but really to implement as a middleware for other companies. So that being said, the partnerships are really priority number one, when it comes to monetization and what we think is going to be happening in terms of the market, right? Like the way that we go to market and bring this out to people everywhere. So there's a bunch of partnerships. One of them is getting announced today, so I can say it. We're working with Dave PENSADO, legendary mixing engineer, building a custom piece of software for Dave. I can't share the name or the theme of it. But imagine that Dave is working on your project, and that's essentially what we're building, right? Is a way for you to interact with something that feels a lot like having Dave on the project. Contrasting that, with something like what we're doing with a company called Mach 1, which is, a leading spatial audio company, recently featured in the New York Times. So shout out to Jackie and Dylan for that awesome article you guys got into. Basically, they're being presented to the world right now through New York Times and other companies as the independent alternative, the more flexible alternative to Dolby Atmos as a format, right? So they're taking like the opposite approach that Dolby's taking. They're taking a non-black box, non-walled garden approach to spatial mixing. But in order to do that, they have to be able to make it so that everybody can partake in the spatial mixing scenario, right? So one of the ways that we decided would work the best is to utilize GPU audio for that process, right? So offloading all of those, everything from the effects to the actual mixing panels and everything like that to GPU. Another press release, coming. I can leak it here a little bit as we're working with a company called Mantra IO. Mantra is, comes from Brian De Oliveira, who makes some of the best, in my opinion, some of the best game audio in the world. He works on Tomb Raider. He works on Resident Evil. Huge guy in the Capcom universe, excuse me, and the Sony world. And he's building a project that's basically, his theme for his sound design tools is called Mandala. And the idea of Mandala is bringing the ethos and the vibe and the workflow of game audio into the DAW, trying to give people that experience of creating immersive sound environments that feel like game audio but can be used by music producers.
I'm going to ask Sasha one more thing, because even I know that CUDA cores, because I don't know, because there are many of them and they are somehow, don't ask me the details, the tech details, I don't know, but they are more predestined to be used for machine learning for some reasons, right? Does that mean that, for example, you can create tools that one day are going to learn what I do in my workflow?
If there is a developer who wants to do the product like this one, technically it's 100% possible. And I would say this is what machine learning engineers are already researching and doing. And there are even some GitHub repositories with the code, like the same thing that you are describing. They're already been experimenting with that 100%. So you can create some sort of a tool that both change the audio as well as learn from itself, from like result already being generated and being part of your projects.
Is that possible that Sonable is going to port their tools somehow or create new tools together with GPU audio?
I have my own opinions I can share. Obviously, one of which is Sonable is one of my favorite companies in the world. So bring it on. But yeah, I'm going to let Sasha tell you what he was about to say.
So the guys are pretty much open to build the partnerships, but they are internally at the stage of discovery what shall be done with GPU audio together. So for now, they don't have a project yet. And they also have the roadmap of their own releases, which is an absolutely normal thing. And they can't pivot because they have revenue streams, they need to generate money, etc., etc. It is hard to change that. But we got some talks in the past, and I'm still open to work with machine learning powered plugin makers, software makers, companies, because I still believe that GPU is the best device to run AI machine learning workflows.
One more thing, maybe you're going to answer this, Jonathan. Because also the concern is for many people, okay, I can have a PC with an NVIDIA card. What if I'm running Mac or I'm running AMD?
Well, a year ago, it would have been a totally different answer, you know what I mean? But our team has just been kicking a lot of ass, if I can say that, as frankly as I can. and they're incredible. And we've established partnerships with all three companies that are helping us, make GPUs unlocked for all the platforms. So we started with NVIDIA. We moved on to AMD. AMD gave us a really privileged partnership with them on the tech side. We're one of maybe two, maybe three companies in the world that has that deep level of integration. So now we're supporting Radeon Pro cards. There's going to be an expansion. We're supporting their laptops soon, supporting their gaming cards soon. The ones that are not for the workstations. And then also, as of this week, it should be by the end of the week or maybe early next week, we'll be releasing Mac OS support. And by that, I mean the M1 and M2 Silicon GPUs will be supported as well.
Okay, so maybe one more question. I said a certain tool like Kurhoff EQ. Probably it's kind of hard to port it simply from the CPU form into the GPU form. You have to write the code all over just from scratch. Am I right?
No.
No?
We don't want to implement everything from scratch. As I said, we already been introducing our SDK at ADC, as well as NVIDIA Deep Learning Institute. There are like almost 200 people who attended our workshops, and we basically revealed how to program algorithms as well as how to reuse the already precompiled, already created components and how to use them in their projects. This is what we want to do with direct partnerships with software makers. We want to code stuff for them in order to bring great products faster to the market and provide benefits for everyone, basically, for users, software making company, partner company, and for us.
Good. So let's say I've got a 3060 GTX graphics card.
Okay.
How many instances of Kurhoff EQ would I be able to run through it?
This is not the right question to ask because I don't know what's inside, okay? As far as I knew what it is inside, I can give you the numbers. But the machine learning, spatial audio, way more powerful on the GPU, like tens of times. Depends on the scenario, depends on the product, depends on the DSP components or on the components or the way it shall be implemented.
Anyway, just let's say, keeping it short, GPU in computing power, audio computing power in real time is really competitive against CPUs.
Yeah, this is the only affordable device that you, Paul, me, or Jonathan can actually have for the understandable price level that you can use to scale whatever the DSP workflow you want to scale in the future. Or you can use this amount of power to power up next generation tools. And this is like GPU is the only device you need to use it, not like CPU or something else.
I don't know how much of a synth freaks you are, but what's your favorite virtual synth you would like to see run on GPU audio?
Well, we're releasing a synthesizer, yeah. So not only do we have the plugin suite, that's rolling out, like our plan is every 2 or 3 months to release a new bundle of plugins, in 2023. Multiple partner projects coming out, all on the roadmap. And then on the synthesizer side, we're building the world's first, GPU, fully GPU-powered, synthesizer called Major. That was Sasha's idea, along with, the original co-founders. That's going to be really cool. We broke the news about it a couple months ago, just sort of leaked it out in the world. But yeah, that's going to come out next year. We also have, I can't say what else is going on in the synth world, but there's a lot of buzz and a lot of interest in the synth world, and you're going to see a lot more about it, next year for sure.
So I'm sure that 2023 is not going to be boring at all with GPU audio and with you guys. I'm sure about it. Guys, it's been a real pleasure, and I mean it, talking to you and learning so much great stuff about GPU audio and what's about to come. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Paul. To me, it was absolute pleasure to meet you, and I'm very stoked to be working with you. We would love to follow up you together with Christopher Duckers, whatever we'll be doing. By the way, Spatial Audio Bundle will be released somewhere in February, so we can send you something up front for review. Feel free to provide any review. Yeah, thank you.
Okay guys, I have just finished editing this thing and well, we've learned quite a lot. We're gonna have a synth called Major Day and then maybe even more synths. We're gonna have a signature set of tools by Dave PENSADO. We're gonna have a set of spatial tools and more. This all sounds really quite cool and amazing to me, and I've seen the whole material. I think this interview is really good, frankly, not because of me, because of my interviewers. And guys, I really do hope you liked it. If you do or if you don't, please comment down below. Let's discuss things, and if you like it, please subscribe and get back for more soon. Now I'm gonna browse some more news from GPU Audio in details just for myself. I hope you do the same. Take care, see you soon.